complete, and we'll take some questions. Please, go ahead.
Mr. President, thank you for always bravely pushing for common sense change, as you call it. So President Trump, Secretary Kennedy have been pushing for change. They're passionate in their desire to help the American people, and they have relentlessly pursued this agenda throughout this administration. This also includes a deep passion for research, gold standard research, as Secretary Kennedy also says. But there's another side to the president that often isn't reflected in media reports, and that's the deep passion he has for the people in his life. And he has called me frequently about the people who are calling him, as he alluded to, who are saying that they've got problems and they got relief from some of the solutions we're talking about today. Howard Kessler, who's standing behind me here, was a mutual friend of ours, was an early caller of the president. Many others have ever reached out as well. And Howard's been a passionate advocate for avoiding narcotics, especially in seniors, and particularly seniors suffering from cancer. Wow. And that's a population that is a very important one. And it's a sympathetic population that's desirous of trying new ways besides some of the conventional approaches that have been tested by pharmaceutical companies but have untoward side effects. At the beginning of the year, one of the first things the president told me, he doesn't actually tell you, he demanded from me, that my agency, CMS...
Nobody demands from him.
No.
Nobody. You have to know.
That's right. Use all tools at his wherewithal to find a better way to help seniors. A passion for a population that has gotten left behind with these discussions. I promised that we would find an answer, even though it had not been done before. And today we are delivering on that promise. Today, our Innovation Center at CMS is announcing a new model and additional actions to give seniors access to cannabinoids. These are CBDs. They're non-addictive, which many are already using to manage pain. There's some clinical evidence that's showing that CBDs provide relief from common conditions that affect Americans, including cancer symptoms and chronic pain and a slew of other problems that affect disproportionately seniors and our veterans. And 6 in 10 people who use the
CBDs, bro.
Oh,
yeah.
That is hilarious.
So it's not just CBD though. It's THC.
We're so backwards, man.
Yeah, all the cannabinoids.
We're so behind.
Yeah, a little bit. Like isolating one cannabinoid to say that it will help, it just doesn't make scientific sense. It's all the cannabinoids. It's not just CBD.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? It's
we commend
it's
their
the buzzword they're trying to use.
Well, I mean cannabinoids. I guess maybe if that's what he meant, like plural, but. In any event, this is in the right direction.
That's
yeah.
These report that they improve their pain. I think all of those people are calling the president. Judged on the number of calls in support of what we're doing today. And sometimes these decisions are difficult, and there's a reason this hasn't happened before. There's a reason, Mr. President, that every president before you has whiffed on this issue. It's tough. And I know there's going to be a lot of discussion about it. That's why we're so passionate about making it clear that this patchwork that we're working within now, the laws and regulations, they're leaving patients and doctors without adequate guidance on the safeguards of how to use these products, even though they're still being used. At Medicare, we cover 68 million Americans, including people under the age of 65. And they did not have a way of providing these treatments until today. With the president's insistence, that's all changes. The Innovation Center models are going to allow millions of Americans on Medicare to become eligible to receive CBD as early as April of next year, and at no charge, if their doctors recommend them.
Because this is crazy right now, to recall it. Like, so there's stuff going on with insurance in America. I don't know the full extent, but the explanation here seems that a possible solution for the grief that Americans could be going through is. Are you following that? I don't know if you're on mute, bro.
Yeah, I'm following.
That's what he's saying. Like you can now get CBD with insurance.
Yeah, I know, and that's nowhere near where we need to be at.
Yeah. Bro, this is crazy. This is crazy. I forgot about this actually. All right, let's see what else he has to say.
Yeah.
Thanks to the hard work of the entire CMS team, especially Abe Sutton and Gita Dio at the Innovation Center, the accountable care organizations in this country working in Medicare will be able to provide these products, again, at no cost to patients. Medicare Advantage insurers, and we've been calling them, are also agreeing to consider CBD to be used for the 34 million Americans that they cover. If you can hear my voice and you're over 65, you should pay attention to this executive order because it's going to touch your life.
Wow.
Again, this all becomes active after the first quarter of next year. These CBD products must first meet local and state quality and safety standards. They must come from legitimate sources, and they must abide by other regulations of those states. With these boxes checked, patients can be eligible for up to $500 of hemp-derived products each year.
Say it again.
I said it. He said other states, right? So like there is, you know what I mean? You know, we have a framework, cannabis and even CBD in a lot of these states that have recreational or even medical. So just the mention of, you know what I mean? Local and state regulations is big. Then he mentioned $500 a year. I don't understand the economics of that when he said it was free also.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see what they're talking about fully.
Yeah.
I think they're just getting started because there's much more.
Yeah. A lot of white coats back there.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like they do that for show, man.
For show, right? Yeah. They do it for show. It looks like we got some doctors and some economists in the house. And some veterans. Of course, like a nice little mixture. No people of color though. People that have been in jail.
They got, yeah, I know. They
You know
got
what I'm saying?
military people.
Bro, for real,
They got
bro.
like 2 women.
2 women. Right. One of them's definitely
2
from
white women
overseas.
in a budget.
She's definitely from overseas, bro. The one on the right. For sure.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She's like Lithuanian or something, bro. I mean, honestly, bro, I would do the same thing. Yeah. No cap.
Yeah, I mean,
No cap, bro.
it's the political side, right? It's the lobbying side.
Yeah. Nah, for real.
You
Like,
gotta.
I mean, from a different perspective, though, bro. Like, I'd have people up there that were like in jail, you know, like a warden.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Be like, all right, these are the reasons why we're doing it because, you know, for many years, people like these individuals were incarcerated or arrested. You know what I mean? Like, of course, for medical reasons, they need to have the appearance. Maybe they really are medical doctors, but. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just.
Yeah. I feel like that's not something they want to say because they like their policing and jail system for their control reasons, you know? Like.
Yeah, they're gonna have to though. Like, there's no way
like,
that you can. There's no way.
Yeah, they exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like how Trump pardons people behind the scenes.
Right.
He'll tiptoe, but.
Yeah.
This is the first government-led testing of quality and outcomes for patients across different conditions, and it delivers on the need for more data collection, research into hemp usage. CMS is going to collect data, that's our job, on the patients that are being given these products by their physicians, in accordance with all the private.
Time out. Does Trump look like he wants to be there?
Well, he talks about how he doesn't.
I'm just saying.
He talks about how he doesn't, like, even though he is rescheduling it, he's not going to use cannabis. But I think if he did use cannabis, he'd maybe have a different.
I think he's gonna make money off it.
Yeah, bro. There's no doubt that there's some type of fund put together already that was invested in the stocks of these companies that just soared overnight when the announcement happened. We're talking a lot of money, bro. That the government probably has already invested into. I mean, you know, they own a patent for cannabinoids, bro.
Exactly. Yeah, that is true.
Yeah,
yes, I forgot about that.
Yeah, bro.
And then it's gonna fluctuate like other markets do, and I think they're trying to take advantage of that now while it's dipping a little bit. You know, that's how you see it. That's when everyone buys into something.
Right.
Privacy and security regulations. We're going to analyze that data. We're going to make it publicly available to everybody to be able to analyze with us. If it shows promise, we will expand access to these products to even more conditions amongst Medicare and Medicaid beneficiaries. I want to thank not just the Secretary, but Marty McCary. We want a lot of companies who are doing this research that approach the FDA for formal approval. That is the right way to move forward. And Jay Bhattacharya, who's hiding in the back, he rarely hides, but Jay runs NIH, and he's agreed to support initiatives to study the data that we're collecting. Howard Kester, God bless you for being a pain in our sides. Mr. President, he's promised to stop calling you. But it breaks on this issue. We'll call you on other issues. And I thank you again from the bottom of my heart for taking a difficult stance.
Thank you very much. Okay,
Mr. President, members of the Cabinet, thank you so much for the opportunity to be here and for your leadership in rescheduling cannabis from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3. This decision will accelerate scientific research and expand what can responsibly
Let's
be
go, bro.
studied.
Major Bloom research.
I'm a cancer psychiatrist
first.
and medical cannabis researcher at the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. Over the past decade,
From
federal
Boston?
investment in research has helped transform cancer care.
Yeah, I wonder.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, maybe they are legit. Maybe they just know who to send.
Oh, would you think they were fake for real?
Well, no, I just felt like they were like
Staged?
handpicked to be there. But if they, yeah, not staged, but you know where you like, hey, we need doctors to be here, and you just handpick doctors, you know, that aren't gonna cause issues.
Right. No. I mean, obviously they're not gonna cause issues, but I do think that they did have a part in like putting this together.
Yeah, they legit. I didn't know that.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because like they mentioned a dean or basically NIH is a research institution, I think in Tennessee, cannabis, and they've done research on cannabis for a long time, and it's the only research center, but it's government funded. And at some point, the government was like, "You're the only institution that we're gonna fund to do this," right? So like, I can imagine after a while of doing research, they were like, "Hey, you guys need to do this." Like, you understand what I'm saying? Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Yeah,
Like, if it's
exactly.
funded by the government, they're telling them that it helps people, then I can imagine whoever's in the leadership position at NIH now, and he was there. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So it's probably a bunch of people like that, right? His friends.
Okay. Yeah.
And some lobbyists and some business people thrown in there too.
Well, yeah, you can kind of tell with the military hats.
Right.
I have no idea what they had to do with it.
Bro, the dude with the hand tattoo, bro. He's
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He looks like he's just the army dude.
he's a CIA, bro.
Yeah, that's CIA. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's a protection for Trump.
That's what I'm saying.
You know, they definitely have to have that. Yeah, you're right.
Just in case anything popped off, bro. The news, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, this is this is classy, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
This is where is this done? In the White House?
yeah.
Okay, good. Because I'm about to say, he's been shot at before.
Yeah, I know, bro. I don't think there's ever been a case at the White House directly, but
No, not at the White House. That's what I was saying. Yeah, it was at the White House.
yeah, that'd been crazy, bro.
But I was just wondering, just like he seems like he has extra protection just in case.
Right, yeah. My man got the hand tattoos, bro. And a couple of badges, bro.
He's ready. He's smiling, but he's ready.
Yeah, he's ready, bro. For real.
People are living longer than ever before. But cancer care is not only about treating the tumor, it's also about addressing the anxiety, the fear, the stress that can come with a diagnosis, symptoms that can interfere with treatment and make recovery much more difficult. Many medications we use for acute anxiety carry significant risks, particularly in the older adults. That's why we're studying specific natural compounds found in cannabis, including the non-addictive cannabidiol, to understand whether they can safely and effectively help manage anxiety during cancer treatment. Rescheduling allows us to ask these questions rigorously about dosing, about safety, and who may benefit most. This research reflects the best of federal investment, helping people not only live longer, but live better. Thank you, Mr. President, for supporting careful, science-based research that puts patients first.
thank you. Thank you,
You're
Will.
welcome.
Thank you.
I'll add my vote of thanks.
The crazy part to me on this
What happened, bro?
is they're starting from the anxiety part,
Right,
like CBD and cannabinoids.
right.
Meanwhile, medical research industries are moved on to like shrooms and LSD.
No, I got you, bro. I mean,
Yep. I was like, it's like,
yeah. I mean,
you know, I'm like, it's just so behind. They could go further on. Like at this point, it's so.
right. Right.
Mr.
I don't know.
President,
It's just-
I never really thought this day would come. I met a patient about 20 years ago, a retired professor named Elizabeth, who came to my clinic. She was dying of pancreatic cancer, and she asked me then whether cannabis might help her. And I said no, because that's what I learned in medical school. She reached into her briefcase, took out a 3-inch tall stack of articles, put them down on my desk, and said, "Really, doctor, you should read these. You might learn something." And I did read those articles, every single one, and found a bunch more, and I did learn something. I learned that there actually is some medical benefit to cannabis that I had not anticipated, never heard about in medical school. Second, I learned that there's a lot we don't know. And third, I learned it's really, really, really difficult to do high quality randomized controlled trials of a substance that's federally
High quality weed.
This rescheduling has the potential.
He wanted to say high
Learning,
quality weed,
like-
bro.
Well, yeah, I'm also saying that I never thought about that. Like the federal laws make it so difficult for the research part.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I feel you.
Sometimes you read the articles and you're like, oh, okay, da 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 da, but then
Right.
they can barely do that research either.
No, of course, bro. I mean, and they have.
Yeah.
I mean, they've paid people to do it, and then they ignore. You know what I'm saying? There was
Exactly. Yeah. Yes.
I think in the ninth.
And
Like-
sometimes you have to keep it quiet too if it doesn't fit the market that
Or the agenda, bro.
the government's trying to push. Yeah, the agenda. Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, the agenda.
Yeah, bro. I mean, to be fair, there was a paper written to the government in like the 1930s or 40s or some shit, and they completely ignored it, and then like created the DEA. They were like, all right, we need to be
Mhm.
harder on drugs, even though cannabis is not a drug or harmful, and they knew that information, bro.
And I think what we learned before from other videos was a lot of this like war on drugs stuff was a cover up for some other BS.
Yeah, yeah. Basically, incarcerating people of color, bro. Trying to hold them down, bro.
Mhm.
To change all of that and to rewrite the way that we do research related to cannabis in the United States in 3 ways. First of all, it'll democratize the research process so that all academic institutions can participate in research, not just elite academic medical centers. Number 2, it'll give patients and researchers access to highly refined, reliable sources of cannabis rather than relying on 1 or 2 sources around the country. And last but not least, it'll let us do the sorts of large-scale randomized controlled trials that we do in oncology and cardiology, not dozens of patients, but hundreds or thousands of patients. That's how we learn, that's how we produce valuable knowledge that's useful in guiding treatment decisions. Mr. President, without you, this never would have been possible, and my patients and I and all of our families are grateful. Thank you.
Bro, I knew he was gonna do it, bro. I knew he was gonna be the president to do it because he cares about his legacy, not about the patients.
That is true.
I mean, maybe about the patients a little bit, but it's like I am the president that really pushed change for cannabis, bro. For real, like that is a big
Yeah.
accolade, dude.
I mean, I will agree. He's the president that does listen to people a lot more than other presidents,
right.
and that's I feel like it's a little controversial to say.
No, it's true because you want to know why. You don't want to know why he listens though, because he says whatever the fuck he wants after. You know?
Exactly.
Like there's no.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes there's sugarcoating and shit, but he's unfiltered with saying things, and even if it's underlining, like not politically correct, he doesn't care. So
Yeah, and I always tell people as much as he's not politically correct, he has his own personal thingies. I think he's a good lesson and example to people about how to listen and what the reality is instead of just pretending and going off ideals all the time.
right.
Because that's the one thing I respect about Trump. He doesn't have ideals like that. He just goes, "Hey, this is what it is. This is what I'm doing."
Right.
And if people get mad at that, I get it. But like, hey, what are we living for then?
Sounds like sounds like an entrepreneur, bro.
Exactly. Yeah, he is an entrepreneur, and
I
I think
know, we're just crazy.
he's always been that.
Yeah, we're just crazy, bro. Like I do shit like that, people
And
get mad at me. You know, I'm just trying to take motion here.
You know-
I'm just trying to move things forward.
Exactly, and I always take it like I feel like people, you know, you see advice from a lot of celebrities, but I always love DMX, you know, RPM, but he always said trust people for who they are.
Right.
Don't try and make up all these other things, et cetera, et cetera. Trump is a businessman, so when I see him being a president, I saw him doing business. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I didn't see him being like a humanitarian and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, he's still trying to help people.
Right. Right. I know, which is
He's
crazy.
doing it through business.
I couldn't imagine him up there talking about social equity and social justice. Like, it just didn't make sense. You know what I'm saying?
We'll see what happens.
Yo, honestly, bro.
Mr. President, I am Dan Wiley, National Commander of the American Legion, representing 1.5 million veterans. We are the biggest, largest veterans organization. We have 2.5 million members of our American Legion family. And I want to start by thanking you for your leadership on this issue. This issue is extremely important to the American Legion, and I want to thank you on behalf of the veterans who are going to benefit from potentially the research regarding this issue. Also want to thank you for your VA Secretary, Secretary Collins, and his work on difficult veterans issues with us this past year. The VA has worked with us on our Be the One mission, which is a mission to fight the epidemic of veteran suicide. Veterans are disproportionately affected by conditions such as PTSD, TBI, depression, and chronic pain. And with this reclassification, it will allow research to be conducted with regard to cannabis. There is anecdotal evidence that cannabis benefits these conditions, and now we'll have an opportunity to see if research does prove that it is effective. And if it is so, then it'll open up a whole new method of treatment for our veterans with regard to this particular issue. And so, again, I just want to thank you for your leadership and thank you on behalf of the American Legion for this executive order.
Thank you. Such
Shout out
great
to the
people
veterans, bro.
Thank you very much, Mr.
that have
President.
suffered.
Shout out to the veterans, because real talk, bro. Like, I know veterans who have used cannabis to help them stop drinking, bro. You know what I mean? Sleep better at night. You know what I mean? Our gummies specifically, our sleep gummies specifically. You know what I mean? Like, so it's one of those things where, you know, believing in war is one thing, and for those who serve our country, you know what I mean, and come back as whole and needing help and being, you know, vocal about it, right? Because like the VA could not accept medical cards, you know what I mean, or basically prescribe cannabis, you know. So this is a big opportunity for when those folks come home to be whole, not, you know, find themselves in a deep dark hole with alcohol or prescription.
Exactly, and you know, I don't have, you know, wartime PTSD. I have a little childhood PTSD, but when I was younger, I used to drink to sleep.
That's
And that's why I told you before, I used to not smoke till I was 25, but that was one of the biggest changes that happened was I stopped drinking to sleep because I was able to smoke.
Wow, amazing.
And I can already see why people with, like, you know, the actively into war and all those different things, why they drink so much. It's because it's the only way to calm themselves down, or the only way they thought it was.
Right.
You know? And then just being able to use cannabis, because the other option is all the drugs they try and give you, but it makes you feel horrible.
Oh, for sure, bro.
So, and I think that's one of the big things. And I also like to notice, saw how attentive Trump was when they was talking about the veterans.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, he even responded, said thank you.
Right.
All the other ones, he looked like he was sleeping. But it just shows you how much he cares about, like, you know, like the actual troubles that are
Right.
that we struggle to deal with. Like, you know, I know so many as well. I have friends that are veterans that just, you know, they came back, tried to do college, and they couldn't because it was just alcohol.
Right. Right.
So I have friends that didn't even graduate.
No, I feel you. Really. Shout out to the vets, bro.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah, shout out.
They will suffer a lot less now.
You're right.
As to what I hear.
Good afternoon.
Yes, please.
I'm Nora Volkov. I'm Director National Institute on Drug Abuse.
Told you,
And
bro.
for us, the rescheduling.
I told you. This lady's Lithuanian.
You were so right.
This is the cheekbones, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Opens the door to actually be able to accelerate the rate at which we can do research and discovery. And research is crucial in order for us to, for example, understand what may be and for whom the dangers of cannabis. Yes, cannabis can be addictive, and certainly people, adolescents and children may be the most vulnerable.
You said it can be addictive. You sound like the ops a little bit. Oh.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I just, yeah, oh my goodness. I'm like speechless that that just happened. I just like a 180 from everyone else.
Yeah.
But we cannot close our eyes to research and the opportunity that we are hearing from patients that for some of them, cannabis can solve their problem. And so what we need to do is do research, number one, to understand what are those conditions. Number two, in order to be able to optimally learn how to use it. And to understand, number three, who is at danger. And it is knowledge that will allow us to optimally take the benefits that may be behind cannabis, as research shows, but on the other hand, also enable us better to do prevention interventions to protect those that are most vulnerable. So thanks very much.
Great job. Thank you very much. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you,
Yes,
Doctor.
anything to say?
I'll just echo, thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for your leadership and vision and finally getting to closure on this issue. This is.
Tell me, where does this guy come from?
I don't know, bro. He's got a little voice.
I was like,
voice
hey.
issue.
A question, a scientific question, that has divided our country for many, many years. And there are valid claims on both sides. On one side, patients and physicians attest that cannabinoids and THC can have miraculous effects on chronic pain, on epilepsy, on PTSD, on chemotherapy-induced nausea. My friend Howard Kessler, without whom we wouldn't be here today, drove this change in the schedule, and he did it because of his own experience in mitigating the impacts of chemotherapy. There's nothing to gain from this. He just saw something that worked for him, that worked for thousands of other Americans, and he wants to make it available to them. On the other side, there are valid claims about the negative impacts, about addiction, about psychosis, about adverse public health impacts.
Yeah.
You ever know somebody that was in psychosis because of weed?
No.
Nah, bro.
I know someone that was in psychosis before weed, or from something else.
Oh, word? Some other substance?
But not from, yeah, exactly, from substances, and then people will blame weed, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, I got you, bro.
That's all they know that they're taking, you know what I'm saying?
No, it's true. It's true,
They're
bro.
crazy.
It's kind of like guilty by association, right? So if someone's out drinking and smoking, they're probably gonna lean, especially if the state has recreational, they're gonna lean more towards, oh, he was high on weed, and not the fact that he had 10 drinks. Bro.
Exactly,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people will drink and smoke, and then they'll blame smoking instead of the fact that they drank or something, you know?
Right.
Like,
right.
they would do the same thing if they were drunk.
Right. Yeah. No, but in all my years, bro, I've never come across anyone that has been in a state of psychosis because of weed. Like, I can't.
So I haven't seen it in a long-term fashion. I've seen it in a short-term when people, like, smoke too much, like, they freak out.
Yeah. Well, that's just anxiety, bro.
But that's never, yeah, that's my point. I don't consider that psychosis.
Yeah, nah, bro. They're gonna be good.
But I think that's what they consider psychosis.
Right. What did Cat Williams say? Just take a nap. You're gonna wake up 3 hours
Like,
later.
yeah, you take a nap and you good.
Yeah. Trying to eat everything after that nap, bro. That sounds
Exactly.
fun, actually. It doesn't sound like
Mhm.
you know, something medically wrong.
Exactly. Yeah, but you have people think that they have something medically wrong,
Right.
and that's what I think what they're calling psychosis, but that's not really psychosis.
Yeah. Yeah. Hold on.
That's just anxiety. You're right. But the other part too, I don't know if you noticed, out of everyone was saying CBD. He said THC.
He did say THC, bro. You're right.
And I know,
Yeah.
I'm like, everyone started looking at him after that.
Yeah, no, he did say THC. I mean, but this is what this is about,
Oh.
bro. It's the fact
Yeah,
that
that's my point. And
mm,
I'm kind of glad he did that because now I think it helps people from tiptoeing around that word.
yeah, bro. No,
We'll see what
you're
happens.
right, bro. They were heavy on the fucking CBD and the other
Mhm.
cannabinoids. Yeah.
And impacts particularly on young people. So we haven't been, the evidence on all of these is anecdotal and it's hypothetical because we have not been able to do scientific studies. There is no standardized dosing. And if you don't have standardized dosing, any study that you do is comparing apples to pears. And we don't know the difference between botanicals and synthetics, and all of these questions we're now going to be able to answer. 5 administrations have promised to act on this issue. The Biden administration promised to do this, and the proposal began during the Biden administration. It got mired down in the chaos and inertia and disorganization and I want to thank President Trump, who made the promise during the 2024 election that he was going to come in and solve this issue, that he was going to take decisive action, and he has kept that promise today. And so thank you for President Trump for your vision. And because of that, we will have answers very soon. This will finally allow us to study this issue and to answer these questions for the American people.
Thank you very much, Brad. Howard Kessler, a friend of mine, one of the most successful people in the country, came to see me on more than one occasion, actually. And he had some real difficulty about 3.5, 4 years ago. And he went through hell. And during his going through hell, he probably sampled everything you can sample when you're going through that hell. And he came to me, he said, there's been nothing like this, and we're gonna have to take a good, strong look at it, and that's what he asked me to do. And others have likewise said that, many others. I mean, you know, again, it's, I've never been inundated by so many people as I have about this particular reclassification. And I don't know that you have anything to say, Howard. If you'd like, you could say whatever you
I
want.
just want to help the people 65 and over and make a difference in their
Damn,
lives.
bro.
And we have machines
Not even
and
the young
talent
people
that could do
going
it,
through
not in
anxiety.
clinical trials, but in a year. We're going to prove that change the world, really, in healthcare. So thank you.
Bro,
That's crazy.
not even, you see, look, not a peep about
He said 65 and
65
over.
and older. And it seems like this agenda has
Because-
to do with insurance, bro. You know what I mean? Like, in some way, fashion, or form, come Q1 next year, bro, we're gonna be in a new world, bro. Honestly, the government's gonna be pushing CBD, bro. You know what I mean?
I'm just gonna be like, look at the doctor's body language
Right.
after he said that. You see how they're all looking down
Yeah.
or looking away?
Yeah.
They're like, they don't like what he said.
Yeah. No, it's factual, bro. And then you got the
shit.
business.
other dudes the
Yeah.
army dudes just smiling.
Yeah, but look at the business people. They're attentive. They're like, yeah,
Yeah.
65 and over, we're about to make bank, bro.
Hey, you literally, they're like, yeah, money. Oh,
For real.
Thank you, Mr. President.
And I'm far younger than 65, so this does not pertain to me. Thank you. I don't want it, okay? I'm not gonna be taking it, but a lot of people do want it. A lot of people need it, and thank you, Howard, for really opening a lot of eyes.
I love how they say it.
I just want to pause. You know how old Trump is?
Bro, he's like 80, isn't he?
He's 79.
79, yeah. I mean, honestly, he got his shit together, bro. Like, better than Biden, bro. Biden
Oh yeah, no. It's not that. But I was like,
Yeah.
that joke was just like, yo, I'm dying.
Yeah, bro. Nah, Biden was like,
Like, bro, you 80.
nigga, well, Biden was like, nigga, you old, bro. Like, you could say 80 and still be, you know what I'm saying? Like, my granny is old, bro. But, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She gets around, bro. You know what I mean? But, like, when you used to see Biden, bro, you're like, yo, bro. Bro, you know what I'm saying? You feel me, bro? Like, I don't get that,
Yeah.
man. Because this dude, he, like I said, he's attentive. And he's responsive, even though people don't like his response. Feel me? Like even his actions, right? So like, yeah, bro.
Yeah.
But to say that he's like, I'm not gonna be taking it. I love how the reference is it as opposed to like what it is. Won't you say cannabis or marijuana? You know what I mean? And
Yeah. Like, they're trying to tiptoe.
right. You know what I mean? And I'm sure if he had cancer, he would take it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, we'll sign it. We'll take some questions from the press. You can ask the doctors some questions. And it's an honor to do this.
Crazy times, bro. For real.
Yeah. How long was the signature?
Crazy times, bro.
All right.
Thank you very much, everybody. Any questions, please?
Mr. President,
Yes.
a health-related question on your health care plan. You've said you want to make direct payments to Americans, but these Obamacare subsidies are expiring now in a matter of just a few days. More than 20 million Americans are now bracing for their premiums to skyrocket. Are you going to let this happen, or will you intervene?
Yeah, they will skyrocket because it was never any good. I'd like to see the money that is going to the insurance companies by the hundreds of billions of dollars. Their stocks are up 1,400%, 1,800%, and 1,624%. Their stocks are up through the roof over a fairly short period of time because they're getting vast amounts of money. I want that money to go to the people directly and let the people buy their own health care. And they'll get much better health care than they get with the Unaffordable Care Act, as it's known by a lot of people. It is virtually unaffordable for people. It's a bad thing. We can have a great thing. Let the money go directly to the people and let them buy their own health care.
But this is an urgent problem, Mr. President. Is there anything you can do now, Mr. President?
Can I answer, Mr.
This is
President?
going to be right now, as far as I'm concerned.
Go ahead. We just got data today. We have federal exchanges where people come shopping for the ACA. And the president hasn't heard this yet, but we talked to the team. The percentage change from last year was down 2.7 to 2.8%. Not the massive numbers that have been predicted. And there's many possible reasons for this. But right now, Americans are signing up for these programs, despite all the things that have been going on. 2.8% is a tiny fraction of what many had claimed would happen. And I think it speaks to the fact the American people appreciate these ACA plans are already subsidized over 80%. So it's a good deal, even if you don't get the extra 15, 20%.
It's a great solution to much better health care.
Bro, this is
And
all
in much
going
lower
over my head.
cost. Yeah,
Healthcare,
Do you want Congress to
insurance conversation. Bro.
Yeah, I'm like, when you talking about weed, like,
Yeah, bro. I mean, but again, the discussion was that it will be available for people through their insurance in some fashion.
yeah, and I think that's the harder part is just what do you get for having insurance? What does the government kind of hold you back on? And they're kind of saying, hey, we're not going to hold back insurance from being able to provide you more things. I think before you could have insurance, but you always thought of it like, oh, if I got hurt, that's all my insurance is good for.
Right.
I guess now they're trying to expand it more to different aspects of health.
Find out, bro. It is interesting.
And these ACA subsidies.
Well, I'd like not to be able to do it. I'd like to get right into this, and I'd ask Oz this question in particular, but I'd like to see us get right into this. I don't know why we have to extend. This could be done rapidly if the Democrats would come along. We have a problem. The insurance companies own the Democrat Party. They own it. And the Democrats having a hard time. They give a lot of money to the Democrats. Very little money to Republicans, by the way. A lot of money to Democrats. And they're going to have to decide, do they want to do the right thing or do they want to be beholden to the, insurance companies? They're making a fortune. I want the money to go to the people. Go ahead, us. How would you say that?
I agree with the president. We have some ideas out there. Congress is working through some concepts.
Bro,
I just want to emphasize that the ACAs are not imploding based on the data.
Is that the vice president, bro? Where's the vice president, bro? Who is the vice president? I'm about to look that up, bro. I don't even know who the vice president is right now. Hold on, bro.
No, it should be JD Vance.
Is it?
Yeah.
You look it up?
Yeah. I'm looking up right now.
Probably.
Yeah, I think it's.
So it's not Oz, bro. Who's Oz then? Oh, Vince, bro. Vince.
Yeah, it is Vance. Yeah.
JD Vance.
It's not, I don't see him here, so.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have any beef. I heard, but that's the incident. So,
Beef for who?
Trump. I heard they like had political decision beef, but that was like a.
Bro, I seen this clip of yesterday, bro. Talking about how white people should be ashamed of Latino actually. Turning point.
Yeah, so.
You seen that shit?
About what? Which one specifically? There's been mad.
Yeah, where is this dude? How come he's not in the frame right now? Weird.
Yeah, I don't even know where he's at.
They got smoke, bro? Is that what you saying? They got beef?
No, I don't know.
Oh, where? I know I know him and Elon.
Yeah, I heard. That's the last thing I heard, that there was.
Hold on. I'm not gonna pull
JD Vance
What'd you say?
He got like Israel issues. I'm like, what? What's going on? I'm like, hey, let me just.
Just received from the federal marketplace.
This can go very quickly, actually. Yes, please.
Mr. President, can I ask you, clarify something for me on the Federal Reserve? How many people are you interviewing for the Fed chairman, and what did you think of Chris Waller?
I think
no
he's
one
great.
cares about
He's
weed right now. It's crazy.
been a man who's been there.
Oh, say again?
I said no one cares about weed. They're asking questions about everything.
I know, like it just turned into
Normal press
like a political conversation about healthcare. I guess it kind of connects to me, but it's like not really to talk. I don't know.
A long time, somebody that I was very involved with, in the sense of his career, and he's a fantastic man. I met him yesterday. Again,
So how many people are you looking at?
we're talking to 3 or 4. I think every one of them would be a good choice, honestly. We'll be making a decision pretty
Is
soon.
Michelle Bowman on that list too? Are you going to interview her?
She's fantastic. She's a fantastic person.
Thank you, Mr. President. Some GOP lawmakers have written to you in recent days saying they're concerned this executive order could normalize drug use for youth. How would you respond to them?
You're talking about this particular today? Well, I think I'd let one of the doctors respond to it because he can do it a lot better than me. But I can only tell you that when you see polls of 82% of the people want this, when I have friends that are really, really sick and they've gone through, I guess you could say, unfortunately, I don't want to become too involved in it because I don't want it happening. But these are people that really know what's going on. Very smart people. This is one of the most successful people in the country and a very brilliant guy. And when they go through this horrible ordeal of cancer or other things, and they realize that this is something that makes them feel better without all of the side effects of some of the drugs, we are just
totally knocked out and out of it. But I'd like to have one of the doctors maybe respond, because you people do it better than anybody.
I'm happy to respond.
Yes.
I mean, and my answer is we have had cannabis scheduled for how long? And it hasn't protected neither the adolescents nor the adults. We have 20 million people in the United States with a cannabis use disorder. This is not legalizing it. It's making...
How about, I like this lady.
Yeah, she redeemed herself, bro.
She finally straight up said it, bro.
Yeah.
She said we have young people, adults that's been using it for years, and look, they're still normal. So what are you talking about here?
Yeah. She's basically saying that we're behind schedule.
Exactly. And I'm like, someone had to say this. Thank you.
There's been street research done, and no one has died.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, overdose from
People have been using it for before we had the internet.
Bruh. It used to be in medical books, bro. Like that doctor in the middle there, right behind President Trump. And he's right. They took it from medical books. Like before the 1920, it was in medical books. People learned about it in medical school.
And even before that, you can even go to like indigenous tribes.
Indigenous tribes, bro. Natives, bro.
Where half our medicine comes from.
BC,
where we just learned how to separate things.
Before Christ himself, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, we was here.
Well, when you look at the history too, it was a big thing, and the whole reason most of the regulations happened was because that it was the hemp versus the what's it called, the cotton industry, right? They didn't want all these big companies.
Hemp and paper, bro.
Yeah, paper, yeah. Oh yeah, it was the paper, yeah, you're
Actually, cotton too, though, bro. Cotton too.
Mm-hmm. Cotton was a big one, but it was paper was the biggest one.
Paper was the biggest
I remember
one.
the whole, because we had the printing industry and
yeah, bro, and that's where all the propaganda came from. The paper companies owned. Yeah, so the I guess breaking down the medium paper, right? So like paper as a medium, but then they were in bed with the news, the media company, and they essentially wanted to outlaw cannabis.
If you control paper, you control the media.
Exactly, bro. So that was during.
And it's the same thing now. If you control the internet,
right,
you control the media.
Right.
You control the medium. You control the thing you create on that medium.
Right, bro. That's why we do this. This is our job, bro. We are selling weed and we're telling real weed stories. Rather than propaganda.
I'm just glad she said something because that's what I needed to hear.
Easier to do research so that we can use it when it is indicated and optimized.
So it's also a big part of this is research. In other words, you'll now have a much larger sample, and you'll be able to see if it's as good as many people say it is. I mean, people say it is beyond good, and you'll be able to find that out now.
On housing, you talked in your address last night about housing.
Yeah.
Are you still considering a national emergency over housing?
I'm looking at it.
What would that look like?
I have there's two thoughts on housing. A lot of people have housing that because we have such a strong time and such a strong market there, houses are very valuable. It's a big part of their net worth, their house. I don't want to knock those numbers down because I want them to continue to have a big value for the house. At the same time, I want to make it possible for young people out there and other people to buy housing. In a way, they're at conflict. In other words, you create a lot of housing all of a sudden and it drives the housing prices down. So I want to take care of the people that have houses that have a value to the house that they never thought possible, that have sort of made them wealthy and happy, and especially in their later years. And be careful with that. I want to keep them up. At the same time, I want to make it possible for people to go buy houses.
Mr. President, you announced the Warriors Dividend last night in your primetime speech. Very patriotic, very generous. What was the rationale and thought process? How did you come up with the idea? What made you want to give back to
Well, 1776 was easy to come up with because we're actually in 1775. The number was 1775, and I said, wow. I think we can afford one more dollar. But they came up to me, it was $1,775. So I said, well, let's add $1 to it. I think we can find that. And very simple. We've had a military that, in my opinion, by other presidents, was not treated well. They're incredible. They're our finest people. They're protecting us. And because of tariffs, we're taking in billions and billions of dollars more than we ever have before. With no inflation, by the way. With no inflation. You saw the inflation numbers. They just came out today. What great timing. Practically no inflation. And yet we're taking in hundreds of billions of dollars. And this is small potatoes by comparison, but it's a way of taking care of our warriors, our soldiers. And I appreciate that question, Daniel.
Yeah, Caroline,
It was an easy one.
She just posted on X, her press secretary, that the board members of the Kennedy Center voted unanimously to rename it the Trump Kennedy Center. What's your reaction to that?
Well, I was honored by it. The board is a very distinguished board, most distinguished people in the country. And I was surprised by it. I was honored by it. You know, we're saving the building. We saved the building. The building was in such bad shape, both physically, financially, and every other way. And now it's very solid, very strong. We have something going on television, I guess on the 23rd December. I think it's going to get very big ratings. And the Kennedy Center is really back strongly. It's in very bad shape, very, very bad shape physically. And we were also to get Congress to put up a lot of money and other people to put up a lot of money. We had a lot of donors come in for record-setting numbers, so we saved the Kennedy Center. And I was really, this was brought up by one of the very distinguished board members, and they voted on it. And there's a lot of board members, and they voted unanimously. So I was very honored by it. Thank you.
Mr. President, will you be seeking any authorization from Congress for any land attacks on cartels in Venezuela?
For anyone?
For any land attacks on drug cartels in Venezuela?
I wouldn't mind telling them, but you know, it's not a big. I don't have to tell them. It's been proven. But I wouldn't mind at all. I just hope they wouldn't leak it. You know people leak it. They are politicians and they leak like a sieve. But I have no problem doing that.
On that, Mr. President.
Yes, please.
Mr. President, there's a meeting this weekend on Ukraine in Florida. What are you hoping will come out of that meeting?
Well, they're getting close to something, but I hope Ukraine moves quickly. I hope Ukraine moves quickly because Russia's there. And, you know, every time they take too much time, then Russia changes their mind. 27,000 soldiers were killed last month. Think of that. What do you think of that, doctors? 27,000, it's like a half a football stadium were killed in 1 month. And it's that way. It's anywhere between 20 and 30,000. Mostly soldiers, also some people from Kiev and other places. But largely it's the soldiers. They're losing their lives. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. It's the worst since World War II. And, you know, you've heard me say I settled 8 wars. Some going on for 35 years, one going on for 37, one going on for 32. And 8 wars, and I thought this would be an easier one. This is because of the animosity, the hatred, it's a little bit more difficult than we thought. But there's a chance we can get this done maybe soon.
Sir.
Remember that 25 to 30,000 people being killed a month, young people being killed a month. Steve, please.
When do you expect to make your announcement about the new Fed chair, sir? Before the end of the year, what do you think?
Over the next couple of weeks. I mean, I don't know before the end of the year, but pretty soon.
And then the Rocky Mount, North Carolina tomorrow night. Tell us what your message is going to be there, sir.
Say what?
When you go to Rocky Mount, North Carolina tomorrow night, what's your message going to be there?
Well, it's not going to be that much different from what I did last night. I mean, we've had tremendous success. We're bringing prices down. We inherited a mess. Part of what we inherited was the worst inflation in 48 years. I say history, but we had the worst inflation. It drove prices up. And now we're bringing those prices down. But I'll be talking about that. I'll be talking about the fact that we secured the border where literally nobody can come into our country illegally anymore. They came in from prisons and mental institutions and drug dealers and, you know, a lot of bad people from all over the world. Venezuela emptied their prisons into our country. We had Tren de Aragua, which supposedly, the doctors don't know this, it's the meanest gang of them all. Okay, doctor? You don't have to know about it. You got other problems. But they let a lot of bad people in here.
And so I think I'll be talking about that. I think I'll be talking about the tremendous success we have by sending the National Guard into various cities. And DC is the ultimate example. People walk to work and they thank me all the time. People in the White House, they just walk to the White House from 10 blocks away. Before I came into office, they couldn't do that. They were getting badly hurt in many cases and beyond hurt, killed. So we were losing people. We were losing, on average, a person a week. Can you believe it? More. And now we haven't lost anybody in a long time. I consider the two people that got so badly hurt, the National Guard, it's a difference. That was terrorism. That was terrorism. And probably terrorism, maybe terrorism because they were unhappy with the tremendous success we've had, because they don't want to see this country be successful. But Washington, D.C. now is a safe, beautiful city where the restaurants are booming, the town is booming. People walk to the restaurants with their wife or their children and have a good time. We were losing all the restaurants. We were losing our life in this. We were just the whole heritage of Washington D.C. was down the drain, and we brought it back. And now everybody's thrilled to be here. It's the hottest. It's a part of the hottest country anywhere in the world. We become in 10 months the hottest country anywhere in the world. And I say it all the time. We were a dead country 1.5 years ago.
Do you expect to meet Prime Minister Netanyahu while you're down in Palm?
Yeah, he would like to see me. We haven't set it up formally, but he'd like to see me. We've had great success. Peace in the Middle East, aside from everything else. We now have peace in the Middle East. Yeah, he'll probably come to see me in Florida.
Egyptians as well? Are they
I'd love to have him. El Sisi, he's a friend of mine. Yeah, I'd love to have him. Thank you very much, everybody.
That is sick, dude. Get out. All right, press. Get out.
He's like, yo, I'm done. Bye, everyone.
No, that was interesting, bro. Obviously, like we said, no discussion about yo, if you want to play it and mute it, that might make it.
Yeah.
Start it over. But yeah, bro, I think just play by play, bro. The THC was mentioned once. Okay.
Just once.
Just once, and entire discussion is about medical benefits of research, which is fine, but not once was there mention of wrongs, neighborhoods, people arrested, people incarcerated, past and present, still in jail.
Mm-hmm.
I think that there's a statistic that the last President Project had 4,000 people, something along those lines, that are exclusively in jail still for cannabis.
And they didn't mention anything about that at all.
Not once. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I agree with that. I felt like they weren't even interested in that topic.
Yeah.
And they were just more interested in, I feel like what you're saying, the money part of the benefit of doing this. And then once they were over talking about that, they went to other issues.
Right.
Like, you kind of saw it, you know? It was just like...
Yeah, I'm surprised the press didn't ask more questions about it. Maybe because they already knew. Maybe they were directed.
Yeah, I feel like we're all just, like, holding our breath to see what happens, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, bro. No. Yeah, it's interesting to hear so many different perspectives. There are people in the advocacy community that don't think that decriminalization is the right thing to do, or rescheduling, I should say, is the right thing to do right now. And I think, not that I think, I know, that in most of these states, they start off with decriminalizing it, moving to a medical market, and doing adult use.
Mm-hmm.
So who's to say the federal government won't do the same? That after, a certain amount of time of research, having this data and this information, like, it's likely for some candidates, some presidential candidates, have their campaign ran on now taking the next step, which is not only possibly like descheduling it, taking it off of schedule, but then also righting the wrongs of basically prohibition negative. If that makes sense, right? I feel like that's gonna
Yeah,
be the next
that makes a lot. Yeah, I see what
campaign.
you're saying. Like it makes them, it creates a foundation for others to now step
Right.
and make a bigger movement than.
Right. That's what every state has done. Bro. Every state has done that. Not all of them, the majority of them. That makes sense. You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly, and the ones that had a different path had a catalyst, like a big event, like even California did. That's why we have 420. They had a big event that really pushed that legalization to how fast it got legalized for everyone.
Right. No, I got you. Yeah, man. Well, yeah. No, it'll be interesting to see. They say Q1 next year, so we'll see what's up with this insurance shit.
That's
All right,
what I'm
man.
waiting for, seeing all the new updates.
Yeah, and some checks, bro. All right, man. I'm gonna break down and get some work done here. How do you feel?
All right.
Oh, we're on live too. I forgot that we're still live, bro.
Yeah, I'm about to say we live.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. So for the live listeners, appreciate you guys. As always, we're gonna get to that. So yeah. Oh, and Rayvon's out of the office today because of the holiday.